So I want to just briefly introduce 11.6. There's not actually anything new here. Yeah, it's up now. So there will also be homework for 11.6 up shortly. But 11.6 isn't anything new. It's just solve equations. And we just did a bunch of those, right? Okay, so solve equations with logs. Okay, so let's get some more practice, right? So I'm going to do this thing basically by example. So let's just start with number 4 from your book. So number 4 says we want to solve log base 5 of x is 2. Does this look familiar?
We just did it, huh?
Yeah, we just did a bunch of problems like this. So I want to kind of think, remember, we want to think, okay, if we had x minus 4 was a number, right? We would think to ourselves, okay, there's a function happening over here, that's the minus 4 function. And so I would go to the next stage with undo minus 4, right? Which I really think of as, scrap that, we'll just add 4 to both sides, right? Okay, so over here I've got log base 5 of x. So I want to undo log base 5 of x. Yeah, I don't want to log everything, I want to unlog everything, right? So I put everything in the exponent of a 5. So I'm doing 5 to this stuff to both sides, right? So I get 5 log base 5 of x is 5 squared. Very nice. So I get then
X equals 25 or
x is 25. Great. And done, easy, right?
I love that way.
Okay, that's all there is to these. Okay, they're going to get more complicated looking, but all there's going to be to them is organize things. Right? There's going to be a first kind of organized step till I get to something that looks a bit like this. Then there's going to be a raise both sides to the base of a logarithm. That's going to get rid of my log. And then there's going to be a solve an old problem that I know how to do. You guys want to see a slightly harder one? All right, so let's try number 8. So number 8 says I have 5 to the x squared minus 6 is 1 over 25. Does this look a lot like a log problem? No, right? Because there's no logs.
Are you on log 5 or log 6?
6.
And this is exercise number 8, right?
Yeah, this is exercise number 8 and 11.6. Yeah, so there's base 5 happening here, right? So I've got 5 to some stuff. I know the undoing of 5 to some stuff, right? It's not, what is it? What's the undoing function? Yeah, I should just log base 5 both sides, right? Okay, so if I'm going to log base 5 both sides, I'm going to get log base 5 of 5 to the x squared minus 6. And that's going to be log base 5 of 1 over 25. Okay, can I simplify either of those?
Yeah.
Hopefully both of them, right?
Yeah.
So what was
5
this?
and the 5, the logs out.
Okay, these two undo each other, right? So what am I left with on that side?
Square minus 6.
Good, I get an x squared minus 6, and that's supposed to be
5 to the -2.
close. So you're noticing this is log base 5 of 5 to the -2, which gives me
25. 5 times 5 is 25.
5 times 5 is 25, which is how I got from here to there, right?
It's going to be positive 2.
It's going to be
Negative 2.
-2, right? Because the log base 5 and the 5 to this stuff cancel. So I just get this stuff.
Okay.
So now I've got an x squared minus 6 is -2.
And then you have 6 to both sides.
Yeah, and now this is an old, this is an old school problem, right? I just got to solve this little quadratic. What shouldn't you do? Start panicking. What else shouldn't you do? How many techniques do you have for solving quadratics?
Oh, no. Don't.
I would advise against factoring and against completing the square and against the quadratic formula. This one's easy.
Okay.
Add 6 to both sides, then plus minus square root it, right? This is a straight up extraction of roots. Don't get caught up in one of the other methods. Okay? So take this step, add 6 to both sides. So I get x squared is 4, and then I plus minus square root, right? And I need the plus or minus because I'm doing this. So what do I get?
You're gonna get plus minus 2.
Yeah, x is plus or minus 2.
Can you do it again? I was writing.
Which part? The whole thing?
No.
Oh, just the
when
end?
you got to the.
Okay, so I got to here, right? And then I said, okay, this is a quadratic, right? that I'm having to solve. I could add 2 to both sides, and then I'd have a difference of squares. You guys see that? So I could factor there. Or I could try to use the quadratic formula. The quadratic formula is major overkill for that thing. Okay? Or I could complete the square, which is also major overkill for that thing. Right, so I would say good options are either add 2 to both sides and do a difference of squares factoring, or just add 6 to both sides and then apply a plus minus square root. That's just extraction of roots. That's cool with this? So these are always going to kick back into something you know how to solve. The only thing we're adding to it is at the beginning you might have to either log base something both sides or raise both sides to a power. You guys see that?